Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Fallen. Welcome back to the Sputnik Entertainment channel. And man, I have not said that intro in quite some time. So before I get into today's video, first of all, I want to give you guys a little bit of an update where I was and what's going to be the future of Sputnik Entertainment and all the other projects I'm working on. First of all, guys, thank you very much for all the love and support you guys showed me last year between the scooter videos, finance, e-commerce videos. I really appreciate it. As you guys know, I've been making content on YouTube for close to a decade now, on and off, over a variety of channels, and last year I came back strong. But at the same time, what happened to me is what a lot of YouTubers and content creators experience is burnout. And that is something happened to me. I went from making maybe one video or two videos a week to quickly pushing the channel of releasing 5 videos a week. Now, for people who have been following my vlogging channel, know I am also working on a lot of side things besides YouTube. And it became very hard to manage everything in a day and still try to maintain some sort of mental normalcy. As you guys know, I've become a very much mental health advocate over the past year. Mental health is something very important to me, and I'll be talking to you guys more about that in upcoming videos on some of the channels I'll be involved in. So creating a work-life balance, especially when you're working on several projects at the same time, is very hard. Now, going into this channel, into this year, I'm excited to bring you tons of exciting content. I keep saying the word exciting, but I'm happy to be making this sort of content. We'll be getting back into reviews, previews, stuff that I like, companies I like, interviewing with those companies, interviewing with very interesting individuals that hopefully we'll have on this channel. When we get back to normal, hopefully we can get back into event coverages. I want to make travel content, I want to make finance videos, and that kind of goes into the channel that is going to be launching this Tuesday. We're going to be launching Sputnik Finance. Sputnik Finance is going to be focusing on all things finance, making money, starting a small business, managing your finances, managing your credit, investment, cryptocurrency, stocks, bonds, options, everything. As you guys know, this is a very eclectic channel. It's a wide variety of mix of content that we come up with here. But there is a lot of interest in finance, especially in 2020 and 2021, when a lot of people struggle financially and trying to make every single dollar stretch. And that is the goal of the channel. Even though that we're in a brand new year, a lot of people still face a lot of financial hardships. So if I can help you save a dollar or make a dollar, that's the goal of the channel. So stay tuned for that. So the schedule is going to be for upcoming future. It's Monday and Wednesday is going to be Sputnik Entertainment videos. Tuesday and Thursday is going to be Sputnik Finance. And on Friday, I'm going to be focusing on more cinematic content, either time lapses, hyper lapses. It's going to be coming out on the Sputnik Films channel. So there is going to be 3 channels I'm going to be focusing on the next couple of months, on top of my daily vlogging channel for some of you that might have seen that. And I'm getting back into photography and making content. So I'm throwing myself very hard into the mix, and I think I'm creating good balance. Do I eventually want to bring this back to 5 videos a week or more? Of course I do. But we'll see what 2021 brings us. But the point of this video is that the reason I came back to YouTube, YouTube right now is in a very great stage, and I think there's many reasons for you to start making content in 2021. A lot of people made new channels, a lot of new content creators came around and seen in 2020 because a lot of us were quarantining, not having things to do, spending more time on our phones or computers or watching live streams or whatever it might be. And it benefited a lot of channels. A lot of channels and creators blew up. Now, 2021 is still kind of the same, although we're still figuring out where the year is going to go. So I came up with a list of 5 reasons and 5 tips why you should start a channel in 2021. Now, some of it might be self-explanatory, but I want to give an explanation for each of these things. So let's get back into the list, or start with the list. So we're going to start out with the 5 reasons, and then we're going to get into the 5 tips. Now, the first thing is kind of talked about is that we're still in the middle of a pandemic. There's a lot of countries or states, if you're United States, that are in some sort of a lockdown / we're not back into normal times. Now, how long is this going to last? I truly don't know. You guys don't know, but we're still watching a lot of content. And this is one of the ways we're keeping ourselves busy and occupied and entertained, is by watching content creators. I do this the same. I watch a lot of content. I watch a lot of YouTube. I barely touch my cable subscription. I love internet and internet content creators. I always believed into the power of them. So you can join that list. Is that right now there's a lot of people looking for content to watch on YouTube. Now, the second reason for that is that because people are at home, the user base is growing. Also, the communities are getting bigger, more in depth. Now there's discussions, now there's stories, there's YouTube Shorts, of course, coming around. So there's overall more users, meaning there's more eyeballs, there's more people to discover your content. So one and two kind of go together. By going to number 3, it can become a business. Now, of course, YouTube has changed their monetization model over the years, as they constantly do. I remember back in 2012 or 2011, 2012, when I started making content on YouTube. It was a wild west when it came to it. There was all sorts of content that in 2020 or 2021 would not fly. And a lot of people made a killing back then, and you cannot hate the hustle. People made their money, and then some of them have stuck around, some of them have moved on to different things. Of course, now YouTube's monetization policy is that you need to have at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, eventually, hopefully, when you get to that point, you can start making some money on YouTube, and maybe you can grow into bigger productions or more interesting projects. Maybe you can travel if you're focusing on travel. Maybe you can even start hiring a team or getting an office, getting better equipment, making better edits and hiring editors. A lot of YouTubers that you look up to that have millions of subscribers usually started out to something similar to this, either in their bedrooms or their family houses growing up, and look at them now. A lot of them are successful, a lot of them have teams behind them, although some of them still try to maintain a level of, hey, I'm just an everyday person, without letting you know that there's a team behind them. Kind of breaking the secret, yes, if you have millions of subscribers, if you're getting tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of views a month, more than likely you have a team, you have publicists, you have editors, you have promoters, you have people to manage your content, and you just sit in front of the camera. Now, like I said, some people like Red and Link are very public about the growth of their company, but there's people like SSS Sniper Wolf that sits in the bedroom and does commentary over all sorts of content, but I have a feeling that she might not be editing her own videos. She might be, she might not. Like I said, don't fire shots at me. It's just, when you're a person of that stature, you try to make the most out of your time. And if you can hire someone to edit your videos, or if you have someone that is willing to do it for you, you would probably take advantage of it, unless you truly love video editing that much. Now, there's tons of resources and tools out there to get started into making content, which goes into the number 4 of my list. I remember the first camera that I bought was a GE point and shoot camera from Kmart. It set me back about $130, $140, and I was covering my first film festival back in the day. And I also bought a camcorder. I don't even remember what kind of, I think it might have been a Sony or a Canon camcorder for like $200. And that was my rig for a while. I bought a tripod from Best Buy, one of those crank tripods, for like $30, $40 because I didn't know what a good tripod was. And then eventually, as I started making more content, and especially when I started to make some money on YouTube back in the day, I was able to buy my first DSLR. I remember buying it on Amazon and being excited to play around with it, and how you could change lenses. And of course, this is where some of my love for gear, cinematography gear, photography gear, content making in general gear grew. And I've covered a lot of it, gear, a lot of tech over the years. But if you look at what you need to get started on YouTube, you don't need anything crazy. There's tons of YouTube channels that make just cell phone content. We all have one of these in our pocket nowadays. There is Tucker Budson, a dog channel all about a golden retriever that I love watching their content. And yes, it's beautifully edited, but at the same time, it's shot on the phone. I'm guessing an iPhone, and it's beautiful. There's a lot of content that just sit at home and make content with a webcam. So you don't need a crazy gear setup. You don't need tons of microphones, tons of lights, crazy expensive camera, crazy expensive tripod. Yes, as you start building your YouTube career and your YouTube journey, you might want to upgrade your gear. But the point is that it's all about you and the story you want to tell. If you have a story to tell, get out there and tell it. Don't let gear hold you back. And also, gear has become a lot more affordable since when I started out. I remember DSLRs used to be very expensive. I remember some of the basic DSLRs will set you back between $2,000 to $3,000 for the kind of higher end DSLRs. And I bought my first DSLR for about $800, and it was a lot of money for me back in the day. But because I wanted to focus on making content, I decided to take a shot on it and bought it. And like I said, luckily enough, I was able to work on a lot of amazing projects over the years. But as I told you the story, I started out shooting on a GE point and shoot camera, and if I can find it, I'll bring it into one of the videos or live streams that I hopefully will start doing again soon, and show you guys that don't let gear hold you back. There's also tons of great resources available on YouTube from fellow YouTube creators giving their tips, advice, tricks of how to grow your YouTube channel, to there's great communities also. There is Reddit, there is dedicated YouTube forums of hundreds if not thousands of inspiring YouTubers that are there to help each other, help understand YouTube algorithm, help each other grow, promote each other, collaborate, etc. And it's a great self-improvement tool, which goes to number 5 on my list. It doesn't matter what kind of content you want to make. If you want to make cooking content, if you want to make, let's say, DIY kind of content, if you want to make car content, if you want to make travel, photography, comedy, news, any sort of content, if you practice it long enough, you get better at it. And this is why this video might not be 100% me, because I haven't sat down and talked to you guys in this semi-formal settings in quite some time. Yes, I have my daily vlogging channel that I run, but the format of that channel and this channel are very differently. It's like riding a bike. If you don't do something for quite some time, you kind of forget how to do it. Yes, you still know how to do it, you know how to walk and talk, and this is why I could sit down in front of you guys and talk to you. But at the same time, I feel like 6 months ago when I was putting out 5 videos a day or 5 videos a week, I felt like I was a lot more proficient. But eventually those skills get back to you, and then hopefully they get better. The more videos you edit, the more times you cook and you put out the content, the more times you fix a car or work on a car, the more times you travel and you understand the travel industry, music you play, songs you write, crafts you make, sketch comedy, filmography, photography, whatever you want to do, the more you do it out there, no matter what the end of result is, doesn't matter if your channel has 1 subscriber or 1 billion subscribers, you become a better person. And hopefully you take that away from it, that, hey, I became something better at this than I was 6 months ago, a year, 2, 3, 4 years from now. And it's a skill that you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. Now, the second part of it is that I want to focus on 5 tips that I have sadly not always followed myself, but if anything, you can take advice from me into your own YouTube journey. So first of all, focus on type of content you want to make, and which is I just talked about. Think about what you're interested in, and more than likely there's going to be people who are interested in that kind of content as well. Think about that. There's tons of people that love video games, and there's all sorts of video games. Minecraft, Call of Duty, Fortnite, whatever game might be popular at the time. There's thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not millions, people watch it every single day. So if you like to make Rust content or Fortnite content, make that kind of content. Just enjoy making that kind of content. If you want to make guitar videos, drum videos, piano, singing, etc., cooking videos, If you want to focus on teaching something, if you have a skill that you want to teach others, do it. Because more than likely there's going to be a community. And I think long term, it's a lot more beneficial for you to make that kind of content versus an eclectic channel like this that focuses on all sorts of content. Why? Because think of a person like Jake Paul. Jake Paul has made all sorts of content over the years, from diss rap battles to sketch comedy to vlogging, all in one channel. Yes, that channel is huge and gets millions of viewers on a daily basis. But if he truly wants to build it into a full-time business, although he's involved in a lot of other ventures at the same time, it's easier to work with companies that would focus on the same niche. Let's say Jake Paul only wanted to work on cooking videos. Although I've never seen Jake Paul cook, maybe he's an amazing cook. But let's say because of Jake Paul's audience and his videos doing very well, it's easier for him to reach out to a cooking supplies company, maybe a meal company, maybe a kitchen accessory company, and work with them and build a brand partnership or an advertising partnership or some sort of a cross promotion, versus him making all sorts of content. And yes, a sponsor might come around just because they're hoping 3% of their audience might be interested in that product, versus 95% of the audience or even 100% of the audience interested in that kind of content. Those kind of people are called micro-influencers, and micro-influencers are becoming bigger and bigger. It's easier for advertisers to say, hey, this is all this person focuses on, it's a good, it matches well with our brand, we're going to work with that person. Versus figuring out what kind of content this individual makes, and let's say what is the percentage of their audience might be interested in our product or service that we might offer. Yes, generic services like VPNs or body hygiene products might do well, but let's say versus a partnership with an auto tool company might be a lot more of a lucrative deal for you. So moving on to others. There's lots of mistakes and failures have been made on YouTube. Now a lot of people like to make memes and jokes out of those failures and mistakes, but if you're truly interested in making YouTube as your passion and maybe even your career, think about some of the YouTubers that you watched and some of the mistakes that you've seen them do. Now it doesn't necessarily mean that they might have done something outrageous that might have landed them in the popular spotlight, but maybe they may make editing mistakes that you would not make. Maybe they made content mistakes that you think that shouldn't have been made. Look over their content, maybe look over their comment section and say, see, this is what people like, this is what people don't like, maybe the transitions they make, maybe the commentary they make, the length of the content they make. See what people like, because people have been watching YouTube for a very, very long time. And this is why people are starting to understand this is what works on YouTube and this is what doesn't. So learn from others' mistakes and failures and then make yourself up better content creators. And does that mean you're not going to make your own mistakes and someone else might not learn from them or someone else might learn from them? No, we are all human. We all make mistakes. But if you could take their mistakes and use them to your own advantage, I don't see why it could be wrong. Now, another thing that you should do as a YouTuber is consistency. I talked to you guys how I made content. It was Monday through Friday last year when I was very much into YouTube. It was Monday through Friday, every day a video would drop. Of course, there would be a variety of mix of videos. But people knew that every single day there would be a new video coming out of Sputnik Entertainment channel. They knew that on the weekends they could go watch something else or not worry about missing a Sputnik Entertainment video. But consistency is key. This way your audience knows that I should be expecting content from Bob, Joe, Susie, Stacy, whoever, on maybe at 5 p.m. every single day, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday. Or even if you want to make one video a week, they come out with a video every Saturday at noon, whatever it might be. But as long as you have consistency, then people kind of come back and watch your videos. That's how you develop some of your most loyal fans. And some people might say, hey, I've been watching your content since day one and I've never missed a video. It also helps the YouTube algorithm notice and help people discover you. Is that if you make a video on a Monday one week and then 3 weeks later you come out with a video on a Wednesday, it's not going to be as well as someone that puts out videos Monday, Wednesday, Friday every single week. Now, they might not have the biggest audience, but at the same time, YouTube says, hey, this person is making content. They're making content frequently. We should try to see if this will be something we should be promoting. So think of a time frame that you might want to make content. Start with a day of the week that you want to do it. Maybe even if you want to make monthly content, 1 video a month. If that's what you want to do, that's totally fine. Or bi-weekly. There's a lot of people that come out with videos bi-weekly basis or weekly videos. And start with a day and maybe eventually narrow down to a time frame. Let's say 6 p.m. Eastern that your video is going to be coming out. YouTube has a wonderful scheduling tool that exactly at 6 p.m. your video will be out and the audience that want to watch it can see it. A great example of that is Philip DeFranco. Now, he has not been 100% consistent with that because of editing and other issues. Sometimes a news story revises itself and he needs to go back and fix it. And he, of course, jumps on social media and apologizes. But you guys get the idea. Consistency. Don't burn yourself out. And that's tip number 4. And that kind of goes back to my mistake that I've made. And that's something that happens sadly with any sort of content creators. It could be Twitch streamers, it could be Facebook streamers, it could be YouTube streamers, content creators, vloggers, photographers. If you work at something every single day, let's say 12 hours a day, you're going to burn yourself out. I've seen many of these situations happen with content creators because they put in huge amount of time in making their content. They enjoy doing it. But then your body just becomes overwhelmed and it becomes not as fun and they feel like their content is being impacted because of that. And then they feel resentful about putting out content because they feel like they have to put out content because, hey, Monday through Friday, I promise, I gotta make out content. And of course, sometimes the audience doesn't like the content they make and they truly starting to feel that they're making content just because they have to make content. So consistency is key, and this is why my YouTube comeback and what we're doing with Sputnik Entertainment and Sputnik Finance is something I rather grow back into 5 days a week versus going back and saying, hey guys, sorry for being gone, I'm going to make the same mistakes and I'm going to be gone 2 weeks later. I don't want to do that. I love making content. I already have about 20 videos planned out from VR videos to VR workout videos. Making money for the Sputnik Finance channel. I know that all sorts of content that I want to make and I'm excited and part of me is fighting that feeling of wanting to make 5 videos a week. But I know that for my own mental health, for the balancing act of everything else I'm doing the right thing for me long term if I want to come back and make this my YouTube year. And the final thing is that I want to say is collaborate. We live in a very social media driven society, especially now more than ever. There's more than ever people on internet, on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook. And yes, it might be intimidating and scary to reach out to a fellow content creator and say, hey, I like your content, look at mine, see if we can make something together. And I have not taken advantage of that. And like I said, a couple of those things I should be doing more. And maybe you'll see me collaborating with other YouTube content creators. And there's lots of ones I would love to do it. With Graham Stephan on the finance channel and discussing and maybe debating some points and some of his perspectives. Not just because I'm a huge Graham Stephan fan, although I am. I agree with certain perspective of his. I disagree with certain with others. Maybe we'll have a chance to do something. And that's just one of those content creators. Casey Neistat, or let's say Philip Bloom, who's a legendary filmmaker. I would love to collaborate with him. There's Peter McKinnon from the filmmaking side. I would love to talk to him about camera gear, getting started in photography, getting started in videography in 2021 for people who are picking up their first camera and the mistakes that we've learned over the years. And maybe you'll see me collaborate with some of these people. And it'll be funny to show them this video and me mentioning their names and saying, hey, I wish I'd have collaborated with you. And we're sitting together and either on a couch or an office somewhere, or we're traveling and making content together. there's so many people I would love to work with. It's yeah, but I think this is it. This is my first comeback video. 2021, guys, could be your YouTube year. I'm gonna try to make it my YouTube year, but YouTube is big enough that there's room for all of us in it. And I get it. Sometimes getting out there and sitting in front of the camera and talking to yourself, and especially if you live with other people, or you still live with your parents, or you're still living at home, might be scary and weird. And sometimes when I'm vlogging in public, I'm still a little bit freaked out about it. It's like, what are these people thinking I'm doing? I'm a crazy person talking to myself, or what am I doing? But practice makes perfect. And yes, it might take you a year, 2 years. Don't put those kind of time frames on yourself. Like I said, just go out there and make and create and have, and most importantly, have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, other people are going to notice that you're not having fun with it. And at the end of the day, like I said, you are accountable only to yourself, to your own actions. And then life is too short to not enjoy things. If you truly don't want to make YouTube content, I'm not saying that everybody should be a YouTuber. If you enjoy making content, go do it. If you enjoy watching content, support your fellow content creators. Like I said, 2021 hopefully is going to be the year of unity. 2020 was a very difficult year for a variety of reasons, which I don't want to get into this for the sake of this video. But hopefully 2021 is going to be the year that we come together, that we're going to create solutions to world problems, and it's going to unite us. I don't want to get too cheesy or too, I don't know, lovey-dovey, but hopefully you guys get the idea. I'm excited to be back on this channel. Thank you very much, guys. Tons of content in the work. I'll get back to the electric scooter videos. You guys showed me so much love of them when I got my Bird ES300 electric scooter, which I gotta make an update video on, and that might be a video that's coming out this week or next week. So you have to come back to see when that happens, because there has been some interesting developments. It might make you reconsider buying a Bird electric scooter. Anyways, guys, it's been your boy Fallen. If you guys want to stay in touch with us, all the social media links are in the description of this video. If you want to stay in touch with me and my journey and my vlogging channel, all my social links are in the description as well. And I'll see y'all Wednesday. Peace.